Hello and welcome to this edition of Arborbrook Live. My name is Andy Zawacki and I'm the head of school here at Arborbrook Christian Academy. And we have the privilege today of meeting one of our current seniors. Her name is Julia Wise. And Julia has the distinction of being the very first person who will have gone through Arborbrook from kindergarten through 12th grade. She graduates this June and she has, I'm sure, a perspective to share about Arborbrook that I wanted other people to hear about. So welcome, Julia.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've gone to Arborbrook since kindergarten, and I've done several activities here at Arborbrook, and one of those would be volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that since 7th grade, and also since 7th grade, I've participated in the worship team, playing violin and both singing as well.
Wow, so you're an athlete, a musician, and a student.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty awesome. And you're very good at all of those things. I've seen you on the volleyball court, and I've listened to you play and sing, so that's fantastic. So, Julia, being our first graduate that will go through the entire school, you've got a vantage point. So, what's been the biggest blessing for being at Arborbrook these years?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest blessing for me would be definitely the culture and the atmosphere here, and definitely the people. I've noticed that it's very Christ-like, and that's in our everyday lives with everything we do. In all our classes, it's definitely implemented, which is really great. And we're also really community-based, and we have each other's backs, and we're like a big family, and that's been a blessing to me.
That's fantastic. So, I'm sure not everything's been, peaches and cream. It's not all been perfect. What would you say has been the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge for me would probably be, since I've been here throughout the years, would probably be losing people, like classmates, throughout the years as they leave the school, just for like financial issues or family issues or whatever causes them to need to leave. That's been hard, but it's also made me more of like a versatile person, I guess.
Interesting.
I can become friends with different kinds of people now and be friends to more people. So that's been...
I imagine, having been here since kindergarten, you've seen people come and go.
Yeah.
I know your class, particularly the core of your class, at least has been here for the last 4 years. So that's pretty neat to see that kind of dynamic in growth, and the relational aspect, like you said, is unique. So speaking of unique, I'd love to hear your perspective. What has been unique about Arborbrook from your view?
Well, for one, the size of the school. Since we are small, we can focus more on our mission and on God and each other. And we have a wonderful group of teachers here. I don't really know if I've had many problems with teachers. They've all been really great, and we have no school on Fridays, which that's a great thing. And our no brain stuffing policy, definitely helps us to embrace our learning.
So I'd love to hear that from you. So I'm pretty new here to Arborbrook as far as this position, and I've heard this thing about no brain stuffing. So as a senior, tell me what you think what does that mean?
It's like no cramming. So we have study guides, and we have everything to help you study for tests, for projects. You can plan out your time, and we're taught that pretty well here.
So the idea is that you feel like you're learning, you're thinking on your own, rather than just like memorizing random facts. Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting perspective, especially coming from a senior. So it's your senior year, you've got big plans ahead. Do you have plans? What are you planning to do next year?
I'm planning to attend Asbury University at the moment to play volleyball.
Awesome.
I received a scholarship there, so...
That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's great. And what will you major in? Do you have an idea?
Most likely exercise science. It's been a passion of mine for a while, so...
So I've seen you, speaking of passions, I've seen you play on the volleyball court, powerful hitter. and being able to do that in college. I'm looking forward to hearing what God is going to do through you in that atmosphere. That's great to see you passionate about that, receiving a scholarship, being, I've heard, the first Arborbrook athlete to go on and play in your sport in college. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So you got more than one first going on here, Julia. So what will you miss the most about Arborbrook moving forward?
No school on Fridays. Nah. But for real, the people and the community here, it's something I've never found anywhere else, and I really treasure it, and I will miss it a lot.
So the reason why I asked you to come and share your story is just that very thing. We wanted to hear your perspective. I wanted to get your perspective out as somebody who's been here kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. You have that unique vantage point. And I think people who are here, parents that have their kids here, need to see what it is that we're trying to build. And you're a pretty good example of that, if I can say that. Somebody who is well-rounded, who can think on her own, who has confidence to pursue what God has for her and stands as a light in the dark world that we live in. So we're very thankful to have you, Julia. We're thankful for your parents' commitment to your education and excited to see what God will do in the future. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.